Hello everybody, welcome back to another video with Lim Reviews. Now, I hope you are having an excellent weekend. Today is Saturday and I really am very grateful for you to be spending your time here with me. So today's video is going to be a little bit different from usual. I'm going to be comparing two smartphones that you might not actually have thought about it. That is actually going to be the Redmi Note 11 Pro that I have right here. And this is my all-time favorite. Actually, this is the OnePlus Nord2 5G. Now, bear in mind that both devices here are sort of like in the mid-range segment at this point of time. And yes, I admit I have been using the OnePlus Nord2. This has been my daily for the past few months now. And I can only keep one of these phones here. I don't want to have so many phones lying around. So today's video is just going to be like a casual conversation. Or maybe you can also let me know which do you think I should keep. But we're going to do a side-by-side comparison between the Redmi Note 11 Pro. I love this phone so much. And the OnePlus Nord2 5G, which I also love very much. So we're going to start straight away. Now, you guys, if you are happy and you would like to share some love, feel free to drop a like on down below, sub to the channel if you want to see more content like this. Thank you guys so much. Let's begin. Alright, so first and foremost, we're going to talk a bit about the price for both devices. Yes, this Redmi Note 11 Pro is not officially here in Malaysia yet, but if you go for the 8GB variant, it will be approximately 1,400 ringgit. That means approximately $330 for all my other friends apart from the world. And this guy right here, the OnePlus Nord2, is 1,700 ringgit. That is approximately $400. So in terms of the price difference, it is approximately 300 ringgit difference, or about $60 to $70 in between both devices. Not really a lot of money, but not that little as well. Alright, so done with the price, let's take a closer look at these guys right here. So we're going to talk a bit about the design first and foremost. Again, we're going to go through very quickly with the Redmi Note 11 Pro. I've covered this device extensively on my channel already, but you guys already know that I love the back panel here. It is a very smooth kind of matte back at the back here, and it doesn't capture any fingerprints whatsoever. Another nice thing I like about the design is the flat sides all around, which allows it to stand on the table. I think that's quite cool. I'm not sure about you, but yeah, overall it is a very nice looking device that we have here. Now, going to jump quickly to the OnePlus Nord2. This is also one of my all-time favorite colors. You guys know I really love gray, and this gray here is the perfect shade that I like here. So it's also a matte back panel, very smooth to the touch, and this guy here is actually slightly slimmer compared to the Redmi Note 11 Pro, naturally because it comes with a smaller battery as well, but it's a very slim device here, much more compact as well compared to the Redmi over here. So design wise, I'm actually torn between both these colors here, but personally, I still like the gray better on this guy, but I do like the flat sides on the Redmi Note 11 Pro. Let me know what you guys think about design, which one actually looks better. Alright, now we're going to flip the devices to the front here and talk a bit about the displays because they're quite different here. So yes, although the Redmi Note 11 Pro here is much cheaper than the OnePlus Nord2, this device actually came out later, so naturally it has more time to develop. This guy here is rocking a 6.67-inch 1080p Super AMOLED display from Samsung apparently here, and it's a very good display. The best part here is that it's refreshed at 120 Hz. That means it's super buttery smooth. I have not had anything to complain about this display. It's just an excellent display, period. Alright, so moving back to the OnePlus Nord2 right here. Now this guy here, it is a slightly more compact size like I mentioned earlier on, 6.43 inches. Also AMOLED display, but it's only refreshed at 90 Hz refresh rate. So naturally, it's smooth, but it's not buttery smooth like the one on the Redmi Note 11 Pro. In terms of brightness, both are actually pretty bright, and they both actually have Corning Gorilla Glass 5. Now, obviously, just in terms of the display, I must say that the win has to go to the Redmi Note 11 Pro right here because of that higher refresh rate, slightly better colors, I would say, as well on the Redmi right here. So yeah, the Redmi definitely takes the win here in terms of the display. Alright, so that's that in terms of the display. Let's talk the next thing about the processors itself, because that is where they are both very different once again. So in terms of the Redmi Note 11 Pro, you guys might already know it's coming with the Dimensity 920, whereas on the OnePlus Nord2 here is coming with a much more powerful Dimensity 1200. Now in terms of RAM, like I mentioned, both have 8GB here, and in terms of internal memory, both also has 128GB internal memory. But one thing you should note here is that the Redmi only has UFS 2.2, whereas the OnePlus Nord2 right here have UFS 3.1. So naturally, in terms of just sheer power and performance, everything launches faster on the OnePlus Nord2. It's just a bit smoother. Games also run a bit quicker and all that, but that is the kind of experience that you can get on the OnePlus Nord2. So performance-wise, definitely it's a clear win for the OnePlus Nord2. Another thing that I should also point out here is that just in terms of day-to-day use, guys, I would say that Oxygen OS here is much more refined compared to MIUI. You guys already know the deal. MIUI has a lot of bugs, especially in dark mode. There's just so many issues with all the icons being all kinds of different colors. But yes, I would say that just in terms of using the experience, the user experience is absolutely perfect on the Oxygen OS for OnePlus right here. I do not hate MIUI. Of course, I love the amount of customizations that we have on the MIUI right here. But just in terms of stability, when you want an app to work perfectly fine, I realized that it was always the most stable on the OnePlus Nord2. So that's just something that I should point out. All right, now let's move on to the next point and talk a little bit about the cameras, because these are also somewhat similar but very different. Now, on the Redmi Note 11 Pro right here, we do have a triple camera setup. Now, this is a 108 megapixel main, we have an 8 megapixel ultra wide and a 2 megapixel macro lens. Now, on the OnePlus Nord2, we also have a triple camera setup. The main sensor is a 50 megapixel IMX766 sensor. It's a very, very good one. We also have an 8 megapixel ultra wide, and we also have a 2 megapixel tele macro lens. So in terms of the ultra wide and macro, they're both very similar here. Now let's take a look at the image quality coming from both devices. I noticed that photos taken during the day and night are somewhat different. Now, photos taken during the days, I noticed that the pictures coming from the Redmi Note 11 Pro here is just a little bit more saturated than what I honestly like. Colors look a bit more punchy, pops a little bit more, whereas the one on the OnePlus Nord2 looks a little bit more natural. It's close to what you actually see in real life. Now, in terms of night mode here, I would say that both devices also actually do pretty well in terms of night mode, but the main difference is that the OnePlus Nord2 here is much more faster and more stable to take night shots. So I've mentioned also in my previous videos that the Redmi Note 11 Pro here, whenever you take night photos, the UI of the camera is just so sluggish and so slow that even with very stable hands, I can't really take like perfect clear photos all the time. Now, ultimately, if I have to compare the cameras of both devices here, I would have to say that the clear win goes to the OnePlus Nord2 right here. It also comes with OIS, by the way, for the main sensor right there, and it's just a much better and reliable camera. Alright, so let's move on to the next point here and talk a little bit about the speakers. Just a very quick one, they both have stereo speakers which go very loud, but the slight advantage that the Redmi has is that it retains the headphone jack here at the top, so you do have that extra flexibility if you want to use a wired headset. Now, apart from that, in terms of the haptics engine, both devices here use X-axis haptics. That means the vibrations are short, crisp, and very nice. Perfect for both devices here, nothing to complain about. And last but not least, very quickly, we're going to talk a little bit about the battery life. Now, obviously, like I mentioned earlier on, the Redmi Note 11 Pro here is a slightly thicker device, and that's because it comes with a larger battery. It's 5100 something mAh battery here, and it supports 67 watt fast charge, whereas on the OnePlus Nord2, it is 4500-ish in terms of mAh battery, and in terms of the fast charge, it's only 65 watts. But because this has a smaller battery right here, the OnePlus Nord2 charges up from 0 to 100% in just 30-ish minutes, whereas it takes the Redmi Note 11 Pro about 40 minutes to get to the same 0 to 100%. Alright, so in terms of battery life, I noticed significantly, very obvious that the 11 Pro here was able to last longer. Clearly, it has a larger battery, so it's naturally going to last longer. So if you are looking for the longer battery life, this guy is the one to go to. But yeah, it is what it is in terms of the battery life. Alright guys, so bottom line, which device should I actually keep? Should I keep this awesome Redmi Note 11 Pro, or should I still stick with my OnePlus Nord2 5G right here? You guys let me know, but at the moment I am still stuck in between both devices because I love them both so much. In terms of the Redmi Note 11 Pro, I know this is actually a pretty good buy here because the price is alright. You don't get the best performance in terms of the processor right here. And if I actually wanted better performance, I should just stick with the OnePlus Nord2. But this is just such a nice device and a pretty good value, I would say, for the Redmi Note 11 Pro right here. Alright guys, let me know what you guys think. Should I stick with my OnePlus Nord2, or should I just hang on to the Redmi Note 11 Pro and sell the OnePlus right away? Let me know down in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Like I said, it's just going to be a casual conversation, a pretty chill one since it's a Saturday today. And yes, if you just want to support the channel, don't forget to drop a like, sub to the channel, and I hope to see all of you guys in the next one in this kitchen right here. Stay safe, everybody. Bye.